Even Tyson was afraid of this monster. He swore mat4rlo. This was an amassacre. Hold on tight. Even the indomitable Tyson was trembling before this giant. What happened in this showdown that turned into total carnage? Keep watching to find out. Tyson was impressed by the strength of this giant. Mike Tyson, one of the toughest and most brutal boxers in the history of the sport, was known for his knockouts that instilled paralyzing fear in his opponents and generated great emotions in the audience. At the height of his career, the entire heavyweight division trembled at the mere thought of facing him in the noble ring. But what few know is that there was an opponent who was as respected and feared as Iron Mike himself. This was a ruthless master of fists who showed no mercy or pity to his opponents. His name was Donovan Ruddock. Get comfortable, because this trip back in time starts here. In 1991, on March 18, Tyson met his destiny in the ring at the Mirachatan Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. His goal was to be the last man standing in his bout against Donovan Ruddock. Tyson, recognized as the top heavyweight contender by the World Boxing Council, World Boxing Association, and International Boxing Federation, was preparing for the challenge. Ruddock, however, was not far behind, being ranked as the second heavyweight contender by these same organizations. Ruddock, representing Toronto, Ontario, Canada, had an impressive professional record of 25 wins, 18 of them by knockout, with only one previous loss and one controversial draw. However, Tyson's 39 wins, 35 of them by knockout, and only one previous loss, kept him as the opponent to beat, at least statistically. Ruddock entered the ring with great confidence, believing he was the only fighter capable of beating Tyson in his prime. With Richard Stye at his side in the ring, Tyson and Ruddock began their showdown. In the first round, Tyson took the initiative, throwing a left jab that broke the initial tension. His aggressiveness quickly became evident, setting the tone for the fight. Ruddock, for his part, tried to respond with some punching combinations. However, his success was limited at first. He seemed to have difficulty dealing with Tyson's offense, and the grappling became a sign of his inability to respond with punches to what Tyson was presenting him with. Meanwhile, Tyson was relentless, connecting with hard punches left and right. Ruddock's aggression seemed to take a while to manifest itself, and Tyson seemed to be in control of the fight. The audience, both on site and on the television channels, watched in awe and excitement. Sports commentators noted Tyson's aggressiveness and Ruddock's apparent difficulty in responding. Viewers at home were glued to their screens, captivated by the intensity of the fight. The punch Tyson landed after the round's closing bell further elevated the rivalry. This act, although out of time, demonstrated Tyson's determination to dominate the fight. At the end of the first round, Tyson seemed to have the advantage. He had demonstrated his aggressiveness and ability to control the pace of the fight. Ruddock, on the other hand, would have to find a way to overcome his initial inability to engage Tyson if he was to have any chance of winning. The first round made it clear that this fight would be a challenge for both boxers, and spectators were eagerly waiting to see how the rest of the bout would unfold. In the second round, it was Tyson's right hand that opened the episode. After a few seconds and only a couple of jabs, Ruddock proved just how comfortable the canvas was by falling down sitting shudderingly on it. The Canadian Titan got up immediately, but it was a clear knockdown due to the hard left jab he landed before his fall. Stye began the safety count as Ruddock paced around upset, unable to believe what had happened. After the regulation 8 count, the fight resumed. Tyson knew what he was doing by provoking his opponent. In the first clash, Tyson threw a right jab right to the chin. Confident in his skills, he was looking to generate a close exchange of punches to further open his window of opportunity for a knockout. However, against a Ruddock who seemed to remain calm between caution and grappling, Big Iron Mike would have to wait a little longer for his big opportunity to arrive. In the third round, Ruddock tried to put some distance between himself and Tyson by stretching out his left, but was unsuccessful. If he was the predator, Tyson was the prey waiting behind the scope of his rifle, ready to execute the perfect shot. Not to be bored, however, he would accurately fire his fists at his target with every intention of hurting him. The grappling was becoming more and more frequent, but Mike would find a way to sneak in a couple of his punches to further weaken his opponent. At this point in the contest, it was clear who was in control of the pace of the fight. For every step Tyson took forward, Ruddock took 2 steps back. During the final 20 seconds of the round, the Canadian Titan finally stood his ground towards his opponent and attempted to exchange a few punches. Unfortunately, this only led to his second knockdown. Tyson's powerful left would be the star once again as he landed a brutal hook that left Ruddock sprawled out on his back on the canvas. Rising immediately to his feet and with the utmost astonishment on his face, Steig awarded him the safety count. To his good fortune, when the fight resumed, he was saved by the bell. In the 4th round, Mike Tyson, with the confidence of the 2 knockdowns in his favor, moved around the ring with calculated precision. Every step, every move, was a testament to his training and his experience in the ring. He knew he had to keep the pressure on, to follow the path that had led him here. Ruddock, on the other hand, was in a defensive position. Aware of Tyson's power, he knew he had to stay at a safe distance if he wanted to avoid a 3rd knockdown. His strategy was clear: stay back, avoid the close exchange of punches that favored Tyson. Ruddock backed away, moving around the ring, using his longer reach to keep Tyson at bay. He latched onto Iron Mike's body every time he got close, reducing his chances of attack and thwarting his offense. It was a risky tactic, but a necessary one given the situation. The tension in the ring was palpable. The spectators watched with bated breath, aware that a single mistake could change the course of the fight. The question remained as to how much longer Ruddock could maintain this defensive strategy. Tyson, however, did not let himself get frustrated. He maintained his composure, his focus. He knew his chance would come. He continued to press, looking for that gap in Ruddock's defense, that moment of carelessness that would allow him to land the decisive blow. In the 5th round, immediately after the opening bell, he backed up until he hit the ropes. He tried to neutralize Tyson's offense with weak combinations, but his right was unable to do significant damage and his left could not keep his hunter away for long. Every punch Tyson landed on him wreaked havoc. Well did he know that he had to work from the art of weakening his opponent if he wanted a moderately early victory. Still in his suit, Ruddock almost wanted to be too cocky by placing his left fist on Tyson's forehead, an act of provocation that disrespected his opponent and that in the noble art of fisticuffs tends to pay dearly. With the clock against him, the Canadian Titan was rescued by the sound of the bell once again. In the 6th round, as soon as the bell rang, Tyson pounced on Ruddock with the force of a runaway train, pushing him into the ropes. The previous provocations had taken effect, and now Mike's offense was more tenacious than ever. His impeccable physical condition and his refined technique were evident in every movement and every blow. Ruddock, for his part, continued to try to neutralize Tyson, but his punches missed more than they hit. His defensive posture, though technical, seemed to be insufficient to counter Tyson's offense. When Mike positioned himself in front of him, the scenario became truly frightening. The tension was palpable, both in the ring and among the spectators. The stakes were high and everyone was counting down the seconds to the Canadian Cockerel's downfall. The odds seemed to be tilted in Tyson's favor, but in boxing, one punch can change the course of a fight. It was a fight scheduled for 12 rounds, but the end seemed to be getting closer and closer. Tyson, with his aggressiveness and technique, seemed to be on the verge of closing out the fight. Ruddock, however, was not about to give up so easily. Despite the odds, he was still standing, showing his resilience and determination. The 6th round became a true testament to the skill, stamina, and will of both boxers. As the round progressed, the question on everyone's mind was, how much longer could Ruddock withstand Tyson's offense? In the 7th round, Ruddock tried to slow down the inevitable with his grappling to Tyson's body, but his cowardly strategy would no longer succeed. When he tried to initiate an exchange, Mike landed the blow that would mark the point of no return. Entering the final minute of the round, he left Ruddock on the ropes and became the executioner who would initiate one of the worst beatings of his professional career. A bold flurry of punches made Ruddock's head dance from left to right, giving the feeling that it might be ripped from his neck. Downstairs, Sty quickly understood that this was a fighter who was no longer fit to fight. Ironically, after coming to his senses, Ruddock seemed surprised and disgusted by Sty's decision. Little did he know that he had saved him from being decapitated. After an intense and exciting fight, Mike Tyson emerged as the victor. His victory over Ruddock reaffirmed his position as one of the most feared and respected boxers of his time. However, the controversy surrounding the fight, especially the decision to stop it in the 7th round, left many viewers and critics wanting more. In the months that followed, both boxers continued their respective careers. Tyson, with his victory over Ruddock, solidified himself as the leading contender for the World Heavyweight title. He continued to train and compete, always with an eye on the championship belt. Ruddock, for his part, was not discouraged by the defeat. Despite the setback, he continued to train and improve, demonstrating his resilience and determination. His skill and courage in the ring earned him the respect of many in the boxing world. The rivalry between Tyson and Ruddock, however, was far from over. Just 3 months after their first confrontation, the two boxing titans met again in the ring. On June 28, 1991, at the same venue as their first encounter, the Mirage in Paradise, Nevada, Tyson and Ruddock squared off in a much-anticipated rematch. The second fight, like the first, was full of excitement and controversy. But this time, Tyson emerged as the undisputed victor, defeating Ruddock by a unanimous decision after 12 rounds. This victory further solidified his position as the leading contender for the World Heavyweight title. Thus, Tyson and Ruddock's story in the ring came to a conclusion. Although their paths parted after the rematch, their rivalry and the exciting bouts they starred in left an indelible mark on boxing history. And although they would no longer face each other again in the ring, their legacy lives on, reminding us of the excitement, intensity, and drama that only boxing can offer. I hope you liked the video. Remember that you can subscribe so you don't miss out on the content we have for you every time. Like and comment, which moment of the battle was the most fierce for you?